Salutations. I'm just going to multitask a bit while I do this intro. Welcome to another nostalgic rumble. We are beginning a new paper today. Excitement. We are looking at the department's paper 1 from. Hey, when is this from? We are officially in 2022. Yes, so paper 1 from November 2022. That's what we're going to busy ourselves with for the next couple of videos. Let us get into it. So, question 1.3, show that 2 times 5, very important that period is not a comma. It's not a comma obviously, but yeah, this is not 2.5. This is not the same as 2,5. In South Africa, we use commas for decimals and points are for multiplication. So show that 2 times 5 to the power of n minus 5 to the power of n plus 1 plus 5 to the power of n plus 2 is even for all positive integer values of n. So n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3. Any positive integer you choose, apparently this will always be even, and we can even try this out. So let's choose n to be 3. So it's going to be 5 to the 3 minus 5 to the 3 plus 1 plus 5 to the 3 plus 2. And that's an even number, 2,750. Let's replace the 5 with the 3. Let's say n is equal to 12. So replace all my 3's with 12. Come on, I just want to get to the 3. Sometimes technology, there are some shortcomings. Okay, yeah, this is not going to work. So, that's one way to do it. 12 plus 2. And that gives us 5,371,093,750. Wow, that's a very bombastic number. But it's even, which is the most important thing. So, yeah, apparently for any positive integer value of n, this expression will always evaluate to an even number. Okay, so how do we show that this is true? What we want to show is that this expression will evaluate to something that's divisible by 2. So if I can show that this can be written as 2 times some other thing, right, where this thing is an integer, right, because if this thing was something like 1.5, then 2 times 1.5 is 3. That is not an even number. So very important that whatever the thing is, we also need to be sure that this will always be a whole number. But yeah, if we can write this as 2 times some whole number, then we know that this is an even number. It's divisible by 2. So that's the goal, to get to write it as 2 times something. At least initially for me, that's what I'm setting out to do. The path might change as more evidence comes to light, but as a start, that is what I'm hoping to be able to do. So in order to achieve this goal of writing this expression as 2 times something, I'm going to call on my friend factorization. I'm going to see, well, I can see already that there are a couple, well, not a couple, there is a common factor in this expression, right? And to show what that common factor is, I'm going to use the first law of exponents that says, well, we normally learn it like this: a to the x times a to the y is equal to a to the x plus y, right? But the equality means that it goes both ways. So you could be coming from this going to this, or you could use this to rewrite something like this. You can rewrite it as a product like that. Okay, so let me just shrink that real quick. Okay, so I'm going to use that to rewrite these last two terms. So this will be 5 to the n times 5 to the 2. And so now it becomes clear that we have a common factor of 5 to the n. Right, so I'm going to factor that out. So we now have 2 left in the first term, 5 to the 1 in the next term, which is just 5, and 5 to the 2 in the last term, which is 25. So we have 5 to the n, and then here we have 2 minus 5 is minus 3 plus 25. 25 minus 3 is 22. And I can rewrite this as, remember my goal was to write this as 2 times something, right? So I'm going to rewrite that as 5 to the n times 11 times 2, right? And because we are specifically dealing with the case where n is a positive integer, okay, then we know that for pretty much n is a natural number, really. That's what the positive integer thing refers to. Then we know that 5 to the n is also then some natural number, 5 to the 1, 5 to the 2, 5 to the 3. It's just going to end up being a natural number. We're not going to end up with decimals or anything like that at any point. So therefore, 2, well, what did we start with? 2 times 5 to the n, and then I think it was minus, yeah, 5 to the n plus 1 plus 5 to the n plus 2 is the same as 2 times 5 to the n times 11, right? And therefore it is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2 is just another way of saying it is even. Right. So let's just see what the memo, how the memo goes about it, and if anything stands out, I will chat about it a little bit. So let's see. Right. So yeah, they do the same thing. They show that, yes, okay, already seen potato. Cool. And that's a wrap for this question. So yeah, see you another time for another chat.